Hello, and welcome to Moving in Between the Lines. I'm Jack George, and this is my YouTube channel. Today we're talking about the Wanderers. They got a new coach, a new person in charge because they don't have a director of football. And I'm not going to be discussing everything because that would be like 40 minutes and pretty boring. But I will be discussing a few interesting things. Their formation is not actually a formation, which is fun. It's a mixture, and so I'm talking about that, different tactics and stuff, and it's all yes. So I hope you enjoy. So here are the Wanderers. They're on the board. So obviously Rudan is new. Robinson is gone. And with that is some interesting new things. So this is not how they usually play because they switch between systems. So it's something between a 4-2-3-1, a 4-3-3, and a 4-2-2-2. So when it's a 4-2-3-1, it's usually Rodwell in between the lines, and this is actually sometimes how they build up. So what they'll do is Tracy comes wide because he's quite good, holding up the ball and playing, I guess, long passes to stretch the play in wide phases from deep, wide places from deep. So, and this is a really cool ball that could be seen where Agoa makes this run in behind from the left and is quite fast and perfect at timing his runs, and then Trawisi with his good passing range can find him like that in behind. And it's like with a quick burst, so say he's on the outside and then he drifts inwards, and then the right back is like, oh, I don't need to track him, I'm all good here, brings him up a little bit, and then just makes that darting run in behind, perhaps particularly if it's a slower right-sided centre back, and that could work really well. And yeah, so that could be a cool ball, and if they remain vertical to play in between. So these guys are quite far up, so they try to pin back the defensive line to open up space in between the lines here. You can see there's actually no one in the half spaces, but that's because Trawisi comes in here, and this is where it gets interesting because then Rodwell can come out here into this half space, and this is when it forms a front two with Agawa joining Hamed here. But that's, so what they do is, say if it's like this then, because they build up in different ways, it's not always the same, obviously, and say this long ball from, who wants to play the long ball? Traore can play the long ball. So say this long ball comes, and what they can do is either they can play with these two players moving wide over here and supplying options between the lines, sometimes with a goal coming out here too, or they can play more direct, as most teams often do, because every team plays a mix, except for a few. But they play Hamed with this ball here. Hamed is good in the air. He's tall and strong and good in the air, as I've previously just mentioned. And Agawa, like I've also previously mentioned, is good at running in behind. So he can make these runs in behind. Hamed can flick it on for Agawa. Also, Trawisi and Rodwell can come in here to form these. You can see four really close players with Ugarkovic and Bacchus moving up to form a good counter-pressing situation, or what would be preferred is Hamed knocks it down to Rodwell, and then they've got a clear attack to there because they can carry the ball. And just another couple of things I just forgot to mention before it gets exciting up the field. These three, Rodwell, Ugarkovic and Bacchus, are kind of relatively all comfortable, at least holding positions within any part of the midfield for any of those positions. So if Rodwell wants to come deep to collect the ball from Gordon, Ugarkovic and Bacchus have no problem in becoming 2/8s here. Bacchus can become a 10, Rodwell can come to collect the ball from here. Ugarkovic can stay as a 6, Ugarkovic generally remains as a 6, and Bacchus particularly just works really well because Bacchus is really tidy on the ball, great in progressing passes. He made a few really intelligent passes from deep. I believe this is his best role, and he's a really good player, and so I'm excited to see what he does. Obviously Antonis coming back into the team, be exciting to see where he fits in, because he doesn't, I guess, almost doesn't naturally fit in to any of these three positions. Well, he does, he can play as an 8. I think he's better as an 8, but this is kind of a double 6 and not even a 10, because that Rodwell, also, that brings me on to my next point, what an accidental segue, can also with this freedom, particularly in the 4-2-3-1, to become almost a front 2, we're dropping off as a second striker, and also making these runs in behind, which is really interesting because this is what Robinson did in the last part of his tenure. It just seems like, did I say Robinson or Rodwell? I hope I said Robinson. Plays Rodwell in this run, the last part of his tenure, because it allows everyone to, Rodwell's one of the best players, if not the best player in terms of technical quality on the Wanderers, and is so smart in his timing of runs in behind. Also, timing of runs in the box, he's very key to making these runs in the box. And I mean, the Wanderers scored their only goal under Rudan, I think, and their winner through Rob Bell making an intelligent run. And also what this does is, I really like this, right? So with Agawa, you've got this quick, nimble poacher type. Hamed, big target man striker. Like, this is just generalizations. They do more than this, but I'm saying this. And Rob Bell's late runs and sometimes even early runs works well with Choisi in this right half space. I really like him here, where he can kind of just sit in this half space and dictate play with his long passing. And I mean, if they're sitting off like this, he can carry the ball up. He can take fantastic shots from here into the goal. There was one that was really close where he picked up the ball in the right half space and just fizzed it low and troubled Jamie Young. Didn't go in, well, obviously, but was close. And he can also play these really smart, and because he's got great technique, crosses in here. And I think that's all I have to say for this video. Short, maybe. I always say it's going to be short and it ends up long. But I hope you enjoyed. It's just like a few things I've noticed rather than everything, going through every aspect of their defensive structure, because that would be like a 40-minute video. And if anyone is still watching now, good luck surviving another like 35 minutes of this. But thank you so much if you have gone to the end, and maybe you can get 35 minutes more in future videos in terms of over a span of time. So thanks so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.